Yeah, our prison system has been messed up for a pretty long time. I used to call it a slave system, and I still kind of think that you take a certain part of the population and you throw them in prison, and you make these people not have the ability to actually make money with an economy, and all that money they could be making, you're actually making money off of them because you're taking taxpayer money to actually get to actually pay for these people to stay there, so on and so forth. And privatizing it was just the next step in our reality. I mean, governmental systems have authority systems have a certain way they run and format, and if the people under its rule of law don't have a certain check system to say, the government's getting a little too much power, we need to check it. I'm not even talking about like big government or whatever. I'm just talking about the general progression of the authority system, and I mean, generally, it's because the authority system needs to outlast the people under it. And because the authority system needs to outlast the people under it, you'll see the authority system do a lot of things to gain and keep its power, including putting a certain part of the population on a higher place, a higher pedestal, and taking a larger portion and putting it on a lower pedestal, and have the majority people look up to the higher people and look down on the lower people so you can get away with a lot of shit. Or just you don't really even need to have these people understand the higher people. You can just have like if you the majority of the population's on a higher level than a certain group of poor people, that group automatically has a sense of superiority, which allows the government to get away with a lot of stuff that it wouldn't normally get away with. Yeah. And I guess that brings back to the point of our prison systems. Um, they created what a prison. It's like I said, it's a slave system. It's not really a rehabilitation system because, if you go to prison, you usually come out worse than you went in. And especially because I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, 50% of, sorry, how to flip on somebody. 50% of the freaking, what I was going to say, yeah, sorry, I lost track of what I was thinking about. Yeah, about 4 years ago, 50% of the population actually they got locked up, so on and so forth, was for like a drug offense, and I think it's probably still around there, like definitely above 40%. But what was I going to say? Yeah. So a lot of the people that we lock up are just non-violent drug offenses, and we take these people, we throw them in a violent population or just prison period, and they eventually come out worse than they went in. And on top of that, you take those people who were in prison for federal offense, so on and so forth. They come out, try to get jobs in the workforce, actually try to make, a straight living, a decent living, and no one will even look at their resume because, they're a convicted felon. Like, is that not on every job application you've ever filled out? Criminal history. And, like, criminal history is on there, then you're a felon, you're probably not going to get looked at whatsoever, even if it's just a drug offense, so on and so forth. And just because, a felon, felon, oh, that just goes in a trash pile. And that again increases the level of money that's possible for the super rich or even partially, some of the money the middle class could be making by taking a certain population or certain group from our population and completely throwing them on the McDonald's workforce, like the minimum wage workforce. So you take these people that could be actually making real money and progressing the society, actually, gaining money from our social system, and you put them at minimum wage, and all the people there at minimum wage now don't have the capability or capacity to actually make money besides like rappers and stuff, and then they have to like freaking make violence and what's the word where you degradation of women, it's not the right terminology, forget it. Yeah, they have to idolize a certain lifestyle about being a gangster and shit when that shit doesn't work out for so many people. Like, seriously. But, yeah. And it's all caused by our prison system. I mean, I know there's a word to actually explain what America's turned into, what it's increasingly turning into, but generally I would just say it's all monetized. I think pretty much it's to the point, and this is more my opinion. Not saying what I was just saying wasn't my opinion, but this is more my opinion without actual factual evidence. Like, I know what I'm saying is right previously, now this goes to my opinion. But I think that people, at least in our country, people are really just looking to have like a dollar sign above their head for certain things like plus and minuses, so on and so forth. Like, oh, they went to college, a plus for this industry. Oh, they talk shit, they're a criminal lawyer. or they're a defense lawyer minus so much money, so on and so forth. I think that's kind of like how so many industries see the world. I mean, healthcare, for instance, exactly how they see people. Like, they have this condition that's probably going to cost us money. That's a negative. We need to get rid of them because they're probably checking out a person's life as a graph. Like, seriously. Like, money we're going to spend, we're going to lose money taking care of this person. We need to drop them. And I think it's all came from the fact that there are certain people that are in a certain, high position to make just mass decisions about people's lives, and, they just really have a huge level of detachment about what they're doing to people because, they just don't care because they're rich. But it's kind of what it is, at least how I think it is. At least what I think it is. And this video is not long. Good. I ramble in most of my videos, but I usually know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot it. I'll just, repeat what I just said. Hopefully a little more, so you guys can better understand it. I think most of the industries, a lot of the industries, like the healthcare industry, look at people in a monetary sense, like certain perceptions of certain ways to which we interact, have a certain, dollar amount. And that institutions are now realizing that there's so many other ways that you could take other people's disparity and other people's, instead of actually having like a rehabilitation system, we're deciding to actually make money off having people in jail. And it's not rehabilitation if you're, I don't know, I guess you could make money if it was real rehabilitation. And it was like, what percentage of the people that go to this private sector prison actually come out and work better and are rehabilitated better? And they get more money for that, from that. But let's be honest, that shit is never going to happen. I mean, that's a good idea. I could come up with good ideas like that all day, but this is never going to happen. Because of the fact that it's just easier to be shitty to these people. On top of that, being shitty to these people, again, takes a huge part of the population and throws in a point to which they can't really make any money for the economy. So it's better for the super rich because they can manipulate the statistics and the economics to actually benefit them. And that's pretty much what super rich people do right now. They actually use their money to buy more money, influential economic influence, so they can buy more, so they can get more money. I really think it's pretty much like that. Once you get to the point of just being really, really rich, you can spend your money on buying more money. It depends on what industry you go to and how you manipulate the system. But I think you can actually spend money to buy more money. And that's kind of how I see the super rich. I don't think I'm that arrogant about this topic. I think I'm actually pretty spot on to it. But yeah. My video about random crap that I'm rambling about. Pieces.